Hello and welcome. I am talking today about something that I've heard a few other people talking about, and I have got a lot to say about this subject, and that's the subject of current trends when it relates to your business and what I'm seeing happening in the sort of particularly the online business coaching and the online coaching space and the ripple effect that's having on businesses globally. There's been a lot of things happening in the last 12 months or so. 2024 was a really tough year for so many in business. We've seen, when you look at the data, I've seen a lot of uh, businesses being affected, many closing down, particularly it's particularly been impacting a lot of the really big coaching businesses that have massive infrastructure. So I want to start this by saying that businesses always go in cycles. I started my business, I started working for myself in 1990. I know I'm kind of outing myself, but how old I am? Like, I turned 60 this year. And I started running my business, actually teaching courses and workshops and seeing clients one-on-one way back then, like well over 30 years ago, and built up my practice over the years and took it online when that was possible. And there have always been cycles. There's always been cycles in business. So there's cycles, there's global cycles that happen with the economy. And particularly online businesses can follow those to a certain extent. Now, there will be sometimes, particularly like for an example, during the pandemic, when there was a global downturn in lots of ways, but there was a big upsurge in online businesses. And a lot of people started businesses at that time and they were thriving because people couldn't leave their homes and they were searching for things online to buy and keep them entertained and to work on certain things. And it was a time where a lot of online businesses absolutely thrived. So it was that's one time where globally there was something going on, but in the online business space it was a little bit different. But generally there will be there will be down times. That's really normal alongside a lot of booming times and really great times in business. Sometimes it's easier and sometimes it's a lot harder. And the thing about being a business owner and an entrepreneur is you've got to be here for it all. You can't just be here for the good times. You've got to be able to really build your inner resilience to get through the tougher times. And all businesses will be affected in different ways at different times when it comes to downward cycles and upward cycles. I do feel like at the moment, and I'm hearing other people talking about this, about that there is some kind of recalibration going on, a couple of years past those kind of that boom time of during the pandemic when online businesses really, there were a lot of new businesses and a lot of them just took off charging really high coaching fees built on a very poor foundation. It's a bit like building a skyscraper on quicksand. If you don't have the business basics in place when you're building a business and it grows very, very fast and it keeps growing and growing, it can collapse like a deck of cards. And I've seen that. I've personally seen it in some of my colleagues' businesses. I've seen it happening in groups that I'm in. I've seen a lot of people go close down their businesses, pivot their businesses. I've seen a lot of people also, particularly over the last few months, intentionally get a job and get an income coming in from somewhere else to take the pressure off their business while things are not going as well as they did in the past. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it can be quite smart to to really lean into other income sources at certain periods in your business, to take the pressure off when that's necessary. So I feel like there is this recalibration going on, particularly in the bigger sort of online coaching companies. Smaller companies that are mostly doing sort of one-on-one coaching and small group coaching are generally doing quite well right now. So it's like, it's not good and it's not bad. It is just what it's like. These are normal cycles in business. There, I feel like there is more stability in smaller business, and I think that is excellent news for, well, certainly for my clients anyway. Because like the online coaching industry, or whether it's coaching, it's the same with a lot of consulting, a lot of service-based industries. They're still in their infancy in so many ways. But particularly with the online coaching space, you have to be careful of that, like the bubble. There's bubble and thinking like, oh, this bubble has just burst and it's all over. And that's not true. It's only just beginning. And I think with with huge upsurges and things like even like AI and the big changes that are going on there, that people are going to need people even more. People are needing more connection. People are needing more collaboration. People are needing more to lean into relationships more. And I think that's a great thing. And I think an online coaching business is perfect for that. So, because people need solutions to their problems, and it's so important to be able to get in front of them, let them know that you can help and make offers. Because even when there's a bit of a global downturn like we've seen over the last few months, last year or so, when it comes to the economy, like sometimes people do tighten their belts and like there is less spending in some sectors. Other sectors is absolutely booming. So when you look at, I know when I've looked at spending statistics here in Ireland and globally, it's up like, I think Black Friday a few months ago was just like up by like 7% or something here in Ireland. And it's just like there's plenty of money circulating, but there are some places where people are just like not necessarily not spending because they don't have the money, but because they're holding on to it a little bit more. But when they decide they want to get help with a problem, if you're not there in front of them, they're not going to know you've got a solution. And it's really interesting. There's two people who have got quite big established online businesses. And I didn't even know I didn't think I was still on their email list. One of them I went and checked, and I hadn't received an email from her for 13 months. She sent an email with an offer for something that I was currently looking for a solution for, and I bought it. It was a lower ticket. It was probably turned out to be like $150 or something, and I'm working through it, and I really like it. And it's just like, when it doesn't matter whether you've been consistent over the last few months, it doesn't matter. Like, it's always a good idea to be consistent, but that doesn't matter so much as that, like, you appear when someone's searching for a problem and you may very well make sales. So just make sure you are letting people know how you can help them. There are trends happening all the time, but they may or may not affect you. So you have to be really careful not to decide that it's a terrible time to be in business, because it's simply not true. Um, so just don't expect things to be terrible, because that doesn't have to. There's plenty of people making plenty of sales right now. And I wanted to share this with you so that it doesn't, like, you don't think it's a reason to stop, or that you have to like give up and go and get a job. You going and getting a job isn't giving up. You can absolutely have another income stream. Some people are leaning into all sorts of different things right now, and that's absolutely fine. So, so overall, when it comes to the trends, and I've seen these statistics in many areas, that there are longer buying cycles right now. People are taking more time. This is a gross generalization from what I've seen across many sectors, but people are taking longer to make a buying decision. But not always. Some of us, holding my hand up high here, make quick decisions when it comes to buying. You've got a problem and someone has a solution. And that's why one of the things I want to share with you here is that one thing that I can really see, and it's been what I've been doing over the last 12 months or so, is selling lower ticket, high value offers. Because like that person who sent me an email who I hadn't heard from for 13 months, and I purchased, I didn't go like, "Oh my goodness, how dare you send me an email when you haven't sent me an email forever," and make me an offer. What I realized was that, like, I bought something from her in the past and I had unsubscribed, so she obviously sent it to her audience of people who had purchased from her, um, and I bought. So, and I'm really noticing that like each time I put out a low ticket offer every couple of months, that very often it's the same people buying each time. So, like people have judgments around low ticket things, and it's funny saying like you can't build a business on like people just maybe paying you, you know, $50 or £33 or €88 or whatever once, but same people buy consistently over and over and over again when it's low ticket, they are going to be quite a valuable customer over time. And a low ticket purchase is an excellent way for someone to get like a taster of what it's like. If you can solve a micro problem, a small problem for somebody that's having a big impact on their business or their life or their relationships or their health or whatever it is, that is gonna be really potent for them. So you they then will experience what it's like working with you, without even like particularly if it's a sort of a low ticket masterclass or a low ticket micro course, like a small course, um, then they will work through that. And if they like it, like it's something that's really easy for them to consume, that's all about one topic, not a really broad thing, trying to cover lots of things, about one micro topic. For one micro problem they have, then like I say, a micro problem, but this problem could be having like a really significant effect on their life. Um, and it's why I'll share the link here at the end of this when you take a look at the notes afterwards, is that like I've created a micro course on what I call the simple micro method. It is just the like this low ticket way of working. So um, there's it, and I think that that's part of what I'm seeing with these trends is that people may be sitting on their hands, but they will buy low ticket things, and then very often then go and pay high ticket very soon after that. I've done it myself. I bought $33 or €55 masterclasses, and then within a few days paid that same person many, many thousands to work with them at a higher level because I have loved the experience of their micro offer so much that I'm like, oh, I found my person. This is who I want to work with now. And I think this is one of the biggest trends right now that's working really well. And I think everyone's served really well by this. Now, not everybody has to have a low ticket offer. Like you can have a high ticket business model where you only sell like at many thousands to your clients. And that's absolutely fine. Um, but some people will do really well by having a low ticket masterclass, a low ticket micro course, or even a single session, like selling a single coaching session for maybe a couple of hundred, and then upselling into your higher ticket offers can work really well as well. And that's like replacing free with paid. So instead of doing a free discovery call, you do a paid, like I've got a business breakthrough session that I will make available from time to time, and that way people can check me out. I can give them incredible value. They may then want to hear about working with me further, or they may not. They may do them as well. So there's a lot of ways that you can look at your business model. I think this is the biggest thing around trends, is really taking a look at your business model. Is it serving you the way that you want to work? And is it serving your clients, your dream clients? Not any old clients, but your dream clients, those ones that have got their hands up, they're actively looking around for a solution to their problem, and you are best placed to serve them for that. And really making sure that your business model is set up in a way that they can, go through that client journey of knowing that you can help them, and then moving through that. It doesn't mean they have to like climb these steps of stairs of what's the traditional like ascension model, of they have to buy low ticket, and then they need to buy a mid ticket, and then they buy higher, and then maybe VIP. Like, not everybody needs to go through all those steps. You can absolutely go from a free thing to a high ticket thing, or you can go from low ticket to high ticket, or you can stay low ticket, or you can just be high ticket. It really does. There is no right or wrong business model. It has to suit you for your season, but the market trends are important as well. So you've got to look at like, how are other people consuming? And there's one thing that I've really lent into over the last couple of years, and it's like selling what I really want to buy. So I'm looking at my own trends of buying and making that available for my clients. So I'm loving low ticket paid offers. I might buy 3 of them in a month or over 2 months or something, and there may be one of those that I then go and buy other things from. I won't buy something else from everyone that I buy a low ticket offer from, but some of them I will. Some of them I will buy other low ticket things when they have it set up right. Um, and some of them, that's enough. I don't need anything else, or I might buy later on. But like, look at what your buying patterns are right now. What are your own personal trends when it comes to getting support that you need in your business or in your life? And does that mean you need to kind of have a look at your own business model and think like, oh, actually, I am I only invest high ticket, and I am only offering sort of low and mid ticket, and I'm feeling a little bit like dissatisfied in my work. So maybe you need to put your prices up, or really look at your offers and see what is the way that you really desire to work for now, for this season of your life, this season of your business, because it does change, as we can see in market trends changing. The way that you work may need to change as well over time. So external trends in the marketplace may or may not be affecting you, but look on a personal level. What are you loving? What are you not loving? So as I said, overall there are longer buying times, but when it comes to like low ticket micro offers, very often people will make a much faster buying decision from that. Um, the the I can't talk about trends and particularly with the online coaching space, without talking about the whole issue of trust, because trust generally, and I've heard this in many, many circles, that trust is down. Trust is people are sitting on their hands for a bit longer before maybe investing at higher prices because of this. And, I would always, like, a lot of people, when they come to me, they go like, I love that you've been in business for so long, and like, didn't realize that the last coach I paid 10, 20, 30,000 to has only been in business for like less time than they had. And they're like just realizing they didn't have that depth of experience and knowledge in business, in running a business, particularly an online business. And that is the thing around trust. And somebody doesn't have to be in business for a very long time to know what they're doing, but and there are a lot of things that can affect someone's trust. But I think we've all heard stories of people who have signed up for something and not got what they were promised. basically, that they haven't been delivered. Like, there are people that sign up for things, and I've done this myself, sign up for something and then not lean into it, and then find all sorts of reasons they don't like it. And that's something I've stopped doing in the last few years. I just, whatever I decide to buy, I like show up, I get what I came for, and I know there's always something there, that there's always more than my investment. Always get back more than my investment. But that's a almost like a mindset decision that I have. So the trust thing can be, it is relevant, and it is why buying cycles have got a bit longer as well. And that is actually a good thing. It actually had to happen because there was a time there. Like, I saw it even in local businesses here during boom times. I mean, here in Ireland, when we had a massive boom time at the beginning of the millennium, like you couldn't get a table in a restaurant. Like, everybody was going out to eat all the time, and they really could serve up any old rubbish to you, and you paid for it and didn't complain too much. Whereas once we then went through a big recession here in this country, it was only the excellent restaurants that survived that, and the restaurants that were serving up very poor quality food and have very poor quality staff, didn't survive. And so it's not a bad thing, but there had to be this recalibration, this resetting, so that to raise the standard, absolutely to raise the standard, and that's a good thing as far as I'm concerned. Um, but as in most trends, they're temporary. Things will shift again. So there's a few things as well, a few other trends that we're really seeing. There's some things that, like the overly, you probably hear about all the bro marketing and the bro sales, and that very, very masculine, like that very masculine model, that yang rather than the yin energy in business. Now, it's important to have that for structure. We need a balance between yin and yang, between masculine and feminine. Absolutely, we need that. But if there's too much of one or the other, but too much masculine, that was working a few years ago to really get people moving and jumping and buying quickly, but very often that resulted in a lot of buyer's remorse. So and alongside that, the mega bonus offers, of really stacking that. And I trained in this bonus stacking in different programs and stuff. And it's like, no, it's like, people aren't buying because of the bonuses. People are buying because of the actual offer and the solution to a problem. Um, there's other things like the massive money claims, and without any substance, or without any, and this is affecting the proof, because we know, like, a lot of people that have had privy to, like, seeing behind the scenes in people's businesses very often know the claims of the 50K, 100K months, minutes, days, are very often unsubstantiated, and maybe, like, somebody's making those sales, but then they don't get paid, or then the client leaves and doesn't pay, or there's all the spending as much as is coming in. I worked with a a business systems expert a couple of years ago, and she told me that I was the only coach she should take on, because we'd been through a certification together, and she knew that there was substance in everything I was saying, and also that the coach, the person who was leading that certification, had worked with me in the past, and she knew that, like, what I was saying and what I was bringing to calls and what I was talking about was totally true. That when I was talking about 30 or 50K months, or having 100K month here and there, was absolutely true, because she said she'd worked with so many coaching businesses that once she got into the behind the scenes, then, and saw that, like, all the made up stuff inside Canva, and not there being no substance behind it, made her very dubious. And so that's where a lot of the lack of trust has come from. So these big money claims without any substance. And I know myself that, like, I don't have to really talk about money all the time, or there's nothing wrong with that. I think we do need to talk about money a lot more, because most of us have been brought up that it's like really rude to talk about money, and I don't believe that is true. I think it's essential that we do talk about money, but to make it based on money, making it rather than based on being able to solve problems for your clients, rather than like, I can make this much money, so therefore I am incredible. And it's just like, but I do find when I talk about money more and talk about money claims more, that it's a very effective marketing strategy. So I think it needs to be there in balance, but not just with no substance and it just being the only thing. Um, I think another thing that is a bit of a trend is there was a bit of pushback towards very large programs, particularly very large coaching programs, where there's no access to the person who they've signed up to work with. So where they don't see the coach, they don't see the leader at all. It's just maybe other like associate coaches within the group or something, and maybe there's no continuity, or that's not the person they signed up to work with. And they didn't realize that. Like people get, and I have been in those programs, and people get like, just stop coming, and it is unfortunate. So, and I've seen that with my coaches over the years. I've seen them sign up to coaching programs purely to get access to other people that are in the at that same kind of income level, particularly once you get to multiple seven-figure level. And it's basically pay to play. It's paying to be in those groups to get access to all the collaboration that's possible within those. And some people do really, really well from that, and some people don't. So, like, I'd always say, like, there is a bit of a pushback towards that kind of thing, but like, just like, what serves you best? And it's why I'm leaning a little bit back, like I'm leaning into really the low ticket offers, still my group programs because I absolutely love them, but also doing a little bit more one-on-one work as well, because there's some people that thrive with one-on-one. So the very complicated businesses are not doing so well at the moment. Like the simpler you keep things simple, very simple funnels, very simple workflows are working much, much better. This is definitely a time, one of the trends is to really be the leader now more than ever, and really looking after, not just looking after the money in your business, but looking after yourself as the business owner. Daily practices, daily mindset, daily energetics, really balancing that masculine, feminine, the yang and the yin in yourself, in your business. Relationship building is working really well, as I mentioned before, like having conversations. I've seen a lot of people go from no sales calls to going back to doing their own sales calls, even if they'd outsourced that before. So really look at like how could you build relationships even better in your business, talking to people, not necessarily having everything automated, and really like being a normal human being, and really building those relationships will stand to you more than anything else in your business. Always continuing to work on your delivery, improving the experience for your clients and customers absolutely will always work. Um, the and another thing that's like I'm seeing right now is just really looking at like, how can you create a client retention, re-enrollment kind of strategy. Don't go straight to offboarding clients when they finish working with you. Let them know how they can work with you, and let them know before the very end of their time with you, because otherwise they will start looking around for somebody else. And when you could more than likely serve them for a longer period of time. Some people always want to have some kind of coach or mentor, or someone that they can be a guide for them. Like I'm nearly always working with somebody, sometimes more than one person. And as are most successful business owners, like it really is doing them the best service by letting them know they can continue with them. I would probably have at any time close to, like, a lot of time it's like 70-80% re-enrollment, retention in my business. So look at where you can improve that in yours. Um, and the just and just know there is nothing broken. There is nothing broken. There's nothing broken in your business, there's nothing broken with you. It is just basically about, looking at where do you want to expand into over the next year? Where do you want to step in, step up? What's maybe an identity shift you need to make to get to your next level in business, and to not be affected by these trends so much, so you can really take a stand for yourself, take a stand for your business, take a stand for your clients, and have 1000% rock solid belief in all of that. um, and get support where you need it. Absolutely get support where you need it. None of us can see our own blind spots. We need other people to point out, like, okay, you've said this thing 3 times to me in the last week. I just wonder what's going on here. And they're like, oh yeah, caught, sprung. And like, that's what I have my coaches for. It's not so much like the strategy side of things that is important, but it's being held to the strategy that you've chosen that is even more important. It's the mindset, the energetic side of things that is so, so important in keeping going, so that you do not just survive any downward turns in the market, but absolutely thrive through them. And as any big corporation would do, they would absolutely invest their way out of any downturn, to get the right help at the right time. So if you need any help and support, if you desire, like, if this is the time where you wanna lean into support, what I have a few ways of working with me, and I'll pop them below. I have my simple micro method, it's showing you exactly the right steps to create your micro offer, how to create it, market it, sell it, deliver it. It's all going to be laid out step by step in a really, really simple way. And I'll pop the link to that below. If you want to join one of my WOW programs, Worthy of Wealth, I am about to open those up for enrollment. I now have 3 levels within there. I have the WOW Academy, I am having WOW Inner Circle, my mastermind, and then WOW VIP, which is the one-on-one way of working with me. So if you want to hear about any of those, get in touch, and I would love to help you to really help your business to thrive, to be incredibly abundant over the next 12 months. And I will be back with you very, very soon. Bye for now.